Welcome to Daily Armor. Today we're going to be in the book of John, chapter number 15, looking at verse number 16. John chapter 15, looking at verse number 16. Before we start getting into looking what our fruit looks like, I want to back up just a little bit. We had just finished up a series on looking at different soil types, different things that we can expect from sharing the Word of God with someone, from sharing our testimonies, from however the Lord uses me, however the Lord uses you, some different people, different hearts that we'll encounter, not for us to, evaluate the soil, not for us to take any kind of soil samples, but just so we can be aware and expect, and not be shocked, not be thrown off guard by what we encounter. But to encourage us to keep spreading the gospel seed. And before we get into looking at the fruit, which is what the Lord said that we would produce fruit, that good soil is going to produce fruit. That's what you're trying to attain, is when you're planting that seed, you're wanting the soil to be good. You're wanting to pull out the weeds and take out those things that are going to be harmful to the plant. Provide it that sun, provide it that water, and those things that it's going to need so that it can produce a fruit, so that it can produce a product. It's going to produce something. You're planting it so it can continue to feed others. And before we get into all the different kinds of fruit, I want to back up just a little bit, and you'll know what I'm referring to here in just a minute. And looking at John chapter 15 and looking at verse number 16. So let's read this together. And it says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you, that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. So before we begin to think about the different kind of fruit that our life is supposed to produce, I want to say that it wasn't our idea. I want to say that this is coming from the Lord, that don't feel pressured that all of this is your responsibility, because it's a work God is doing in us, and it began with him. It began as his idea. He's the one who decided to make man. He knew that man would fall. He knew that Adam and Eve would sin in the garden, and that what was going to take place, and yet he did it anyway. He made a way for us, for that debt to be reconciled, and Jesus came forth through his time here on earth to be that payment, so that we could be reconciled to God. And it was his idea. It says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. I love that. It takes the pressure off of me that this is not my bright idea. This is not something I've come up with. And it far exceeds anything I could have comprehended or I could have come up with. My plans for myself were very limited, and very basic. And God has shown me so much more wonderful things than I could ever even have imagined for myself. So when you go back to thinking about, before you feel the pressure of producing fruit, I want you to take the pressure off of you and place it in the capable hands of God, because it was his idea. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you. So that ordained, what that means is that he is appointed, but he has given you a purpose. He has given you a place where you're supposed to be, a service that you're supposed to be serving in. He knows what you're good at. He knows how you can minister to others, and those qualities that are completely separated and unique to you, very unique to you. So he knows where to put us. He knows what jobs to give us to do, and he has ordained us for those things. And so before you start thinking about all this pressure of the fruit, God knows the fruit that he plans to produce in us and through us. And remembering, and we'll be in tomorrow's devotion, we'll be into the vine and the branches, and we've kind of skipped to the end of that here in John chapter 15, but in the next devotion we'll be backing up several verses looking at the vine and the branches. But I wanted to start with that you've been chosen, that God has chose you, he has pointed you out, and he has said, you know what, I have a job for you. I know something specific that you would be good at. I have a specific place where I want you to minister to. Never in a million years would I have thought he would have moved me out of North Carolina and put me in Florida. And when I got here, I was like, Lord, I am not a good match for this place. This is not a good match for me. And I don't, I think that, that I'm not doing a good job, and all that, but God has a plan, and he had ordained me to be here, and he knows all the reasons why, and he knows what he's doing. But as he tells us that we've been chosen and that we've been ordained, and he's ordained us for a purpose. And he says that ye should go and bring forth fruit. So he's got a job for us to go do. That it's okay to pursue it. It's okay to go after it. It's okay to, this door has been open and you're to walk through it. Not be afraid to walk through it. And you could even get excited to walk through it, not even though we don't always know what to expect, but he has a job for us to do, and he's going to bring forth fruit. And that our fruit should remain. So this fruit that we're gonna produce, that he is producing in us, it's gonna be lasting. It's gonna provide a result. He's got a result that he wants to bring out of us. He's got a deed that he wants for us to do. That he's got all these other things going on that our part is valuable. And our part may not look like everybody else's part. It may be just this little simple something that you do, but God says, you're the one that I've chosen to do that. I have set you apart to do this specific job. And he's got the grand plan and has a grand purpose for me and for you. So before we even dive into the different kinds of fruits, I wanted just to spend a couple of devotions on simply letting us know that it's not us that produces the fruit, but it's him that produces the fruit in us and through us. Why? Because he chose us, then he ordained us, then he set us out to go somewhere specific, something he wants us to go and do and to be a part of, and that he's going to produce that fruit in us, and it's going to be that fruit that's lasting, that fruit that's going to be it's going to have a great effect, a grand result, that he's the one in control of all that. So as we go into the next devotion, we're going to be back to the beginning of John chapter 15, looking at the vine and the branches. Thank you for joining with me today. I look forward to seeing you again soon.